I am back. I am back. I am back. I am Betty J. Gathers, daughter of Jean Grey. Welcome back, cousins. Welcome back. And those of you that keep lurking and coming in and talking to me and commenting, go ahead, hit that button. Hit that button and subscribe and become part of my family today. And hit that like button because it always helps me on my channel. But I'm just doing this intro a little bit before I fully get ready to do this today. I'm going to be talking about after the divorce. And this not only helps my psyche, but also it helps millions of other women just to know that once you get divorced, party's not over. And I just made sure I got my coffee. Then I got up early to pull all my divorce papers together, a letter from my husband, ex-husband. And let me show you something. This is how the paper looks. After 40 years, it starts getting yellow and tinged. We got divorced in November 27, 79 on my ex-sister-in-law's anniversary. She probably don't even remember hers either. And the paper gets yellow. Divorce decrees mean nothing. I'm going to talk about that. But I just want to intro myself. And like I say, I'm just doing this before I get ready. I really got to have my coffee before this because I really had to organize my mind from 40-some years ago. But I will be back in a little bit. And don't forget, hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button so I can grow, and let's go. And this what I felt like, what I look like, a dummy army. Okay, let's get started. I am back, and here we go. Okay, I did the video of my young marriage from hell. Now I'm going to do after the divorce. And I'm really going to get in depth with this. And this is nothing. I know you're going to say a woman's scorn, but it's not. After 40-some years, he has who he has. And I have what I have after 30 years. And I'm sure both of us are happily married. However, I just think this is something young women or even older women that's thinking about and contemplating divorce. And just think this was done in, I want to change eyeglasses. Girly girl. In 1979. Okay, really on my ex-sister-in-law's anniversary. But I'm going to have all my papers here, so you're going to see me look down. I usually don't read the papers. But today I'm going to, and I want you to remember, divorce papers mean nothing. That's what, you just go to court, and my son was 18 months old when we divorced. And we did not end until he was 18. And I'm going to tell you all the things I went through. And it was not easy. And really, I only told like my intermediate family. He probably thought I told everybody. But I want to tell everybody, it's his side, my side, the other woman's side. I had to pull her in there. I forgot about that. And then the truth. Okay? So here we go. Because I have no feelings. And I know he has no feelings, about any of this. It's just me telling the world that when you get into a marriage and you're not sure, you better back it up. You better back it up. But first, what I'm going to talk about, okay, when I divorced in November, when it was final, when we went to court, November 27, what I did, I quit claim deed our house back to him. Okay, so I left with nothing. Okay, but me and the baby and our clothes on our back. I relinquish all rights to alimony. I want you to remember that part because that's going to be very important on a part with IRS later. Okay, so we're going to do that in another part. Okay, I was thinking he was paying me $200 a month. Oh, I gave you generous. First, he paid me $30 a week. He paid me that for a year. Then they said to increase if his income went up to $40 a week. $160 a month was what he's supposed to pay. And then we did a modification in October 21st, 1981, but we're going to go back to that. And also I received a letter. It was just crazy, crazy. Okay, at that time, and I don't know if it was just with poor women, was they didn't take the money right out of their paycheck. So he wrote me checks, okay? He wrote me checks and they bounced, okay? They B-O-U-N-C-E, they bounced. So when I took him back to court, October 21st, 1981. Now remember, we got divorced in 79. And this is what the court says. It says, because I wanted them to take money out of his account because he was giving them bad checks. Let me show you how they were with women. He said this request, the wife's request for husband to pay child support through the office of the clerk of the circuit court is denied, provided that the husband should reimburse to the wife on or before October 31st, 1981, my bank service charge incurred by wife as a result of bad child support checks tendered by her husband. And if he fails to do it, to pay the wife on time, or in the future, if you knew how many times he was late, then I would have to go back to court and petition the court again to get it out of his paycheck. Do you know how much money that'll be? And they know that too. They knew that. They know, that wasn't gonna be. Okay, so he had to pay the lawyer court costs during that time. So my request was denied. So he continued to give me bad checks. It never stopped until later on. I'm going to tell you, after Child Protective Service was called on me. I'll tell you about that, because then it was increasing. This was like years later. Okay? Then, July 26, 1990, he wrote me a letter. But he wasn't the brains of the operation. She was. I'll give you that. I'll give you that, girl. You was a smart cookie. I'll give you that. She was smart because he wasn't this smart. But he said that he was really surprised that he learned that I filed a motion for contempt of court claiming that he was 2 weeks behind, which he was always behind, and then with them bad checks. And then, let me tell you what he gonna do. He said, I tell you what, I'll pay you court, take the money out of my, pay it through the courts if you do this. He always come up with something, or she come up with something that if I do what he tell me to do, is he want to make up missed visitations, because I would send my son to visit his mom. So he said he had missed 16 missed weekends. And if I make up all of those to him, then he would pay it through the courts. He was always coming up with something. And she was always coming up with something. He visited his grandma. So you miss weekends. So you want to make up 16 missed weekends. Oh, I'm getting into the visitations. But that did have part to do with the money, though. It was just a mess. So if you're going to get divorced, and I don't know how they do it now, or even if you don't, because some people don't go through lawyers, make sure that it gets paid through the court, and then you don't have to argue back and forth about the money, just all that added stress. And that adds so much stress to your life. It really does. It probably took off 10 years of my life, because you're not making any money, and then I wasn't working when I left him, and they know you're at the mercy of them, and I was at the mercy of that little money. And thank God I could go back home to my mom. That's how me and the baby made it. And in terms, really, it was a blessing, because I did end up going back to college at that time, but we ended up moving back to where he lived, because where I stayed in was like a real small country, so there was, you know, not really the great opportunities like right close. You had to drive a ways. But that's one thing. I just want to make sure that you make sure, and also make sure too that they pay for your medical, for the baby's, for the child's medical. Now he promised that. I never got it, ever. Whatever was done, and I end up paying for it. So make sure that you do that. And like, I'm not going to make this video that long. I just wanted to talk about child support on this one. That how really, and I want men to know, it puts a strain, and even the money that you pay, it's never enough. And I know it's coming out of your household, but your first obligation is to that child. You know, it was the first marriage, and I know everybody's saying, well, he had other children. Yes, he did, but he still had an obligation to this child. But I'm going to end this here about the child support. I am Betty J. Gathers, daughter of Jean Grey. Make sure you subscribe. Hit that button down there and hit the thumbs up button, because that helps me grow. And come on back, because I have another part to this after divorce of hell.